The information provided in this podcast is for general informational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. Listening to this podcast does not create an attorney-client relationship with Foyle Legal. For advice tailored to your situation, please consult a qualified legal professional. Welcome to Personal Injury Claims Explained by Foyle Legal, your trusted source for understanding personal injury claims in Western Australia. Each week, we simplify complex legal issues, from motor vehicle accidents to workplace injuries, so you can confidently navigate your rights and claim the compensation you deserve.
All right, so picture this, right? You're injured at work, medical bills are piling up like crazy, haven't seen a paycheck since the incident.
Right.
And then you see it, a sign, a beacon of hope, no win, no fee. It's like the legal equivalent of finding a magical, fairy godmother.
It's definitely tempting, right? Especially when you're feeling so vulnerable. But we got to unpack this whole no win, no fee thing.
Yeah.
Because like any good magic trick, there's a lot more to it than what you see on the surface.
Okay.
So today we're doing a deep dive into a blog post from Foyle Legal. They're a top personal injury firm in Perth, Australia. And we're going to break down this often very misunderstood agreement, especially for workers' comp claims.
So no win, no fee. It doesn't actually mean free legal help, does it?
Well, it's kind of like a safety net, but there are some strings attached.
Okay.
Remember, lawyers, they're running businesses too, right? They've got bills to pay just like the rest of us. So while that phrase sounds amazing, like a free pass,
Right.
it's crucial to keep in mind those hidden costs.
Like what? What kind of hidden costs?
Like disbursements.
Disbursements?
Yeah, think of it this way. Every time a document is filed with the court, every expert they bring in to assess your case,
Right.
that all costs money. And a lot of times that's not included in the no fee part.
Oh, okay.
So it's really important to pay attention.
So not as straightforward as the sign might make it seem.
Exactly.
But if they're not taking like a percentage of what I might win, how do they make money? What's their incentive to even take the case in the first place?
So this is where the system in Western Australia gets really interesting.
Okay.
Because in WA, they don't actually allow percentage-based fees for workers' compensation claims.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Instead, they use something called a staged fee system.
Okay.
And this is set by WorkCover WA, which is basically their governing body for workplace injuries.
Okay.
And essentially, lawyers have these set hourly rates based on how much experience they have.
Right.
And often that final amount, it's not determined until the very end.
So they're tracking their hours and that's how they bill.
That's exactly it.
Wow.
But here's the interesting part. If you win your case,
Yeah.
the insurance company often ends up contributing to your legal fees as part of the settlement.
Wait, hold on. The insurance company chips in for my lawyer.
Yeah.
Why would they do that?
Yeah. It's actually a really strategic move on their end.
Okay.
By contributing to your legal fees, it helps them avoid these super lengthy and expensive court battles. Plus, it kind of encourages everyone to reach a settlement,
Okay.
which in the end saves them money.
Right.
So it can be a win-win for them.
Yeah.
And potentially a huge relief for you because it can significantly offset those final costs.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So we've established that the insurance company might actually help foot the bill a little bit,
Yeah.
which is a nice little bonus. But
Right.
you mentioned these agreements. They can be a little bit like, when you're just scrolling through that contract on your phone.
Yeah.
You just want to download the app. You don't actually read it.
Exactly.
What's lurking in the fine print with these agreements that we need to look out for?
It all comes down to understanding the nitty-gritty, right?
Okay.
And I think a helpful way to think about it is to break it down into like inclusions versus exclusions.
Okay, like where this is going. It's like planning a party, right?
Exactly. So inclusions, these are like your VIP guests. These are the things that are always covered. It's your lawyer's time. That means phone calls, research, drafting documents, attending meetings, all those behind the scenes things that they do to build your case.
Okay.
But then you have the exclusions. And these are kind of like those uninvited guests that show up to the party and they kind of, spoil the vibe.
Those party crashers.
Yeah.
What kind of chaos can they unleash on my legal victory party?
So you're all dressed up, ready for this big victory party, confetti cannons, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
And then the verdict comes back.
Yeah.
Not in your favor.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And sometimes in some of these no win, no fee agreements, losing, it means that you then have to pay the other side's legal fees as well.
Oh, wow. So not only did I lose my case,
Yeah.
but now I'm paying for their party too.
It's like getting handed the cleanup bill for a party that you didn't even want to go to.
Oh, that's rough.
Right. It's a risk that a lot of people don't really consider, and it's not just about losing a case entirely.
Okay.
Sometimes you might win, but the payout is less than what you and your lawyer were hoping for.
Right.
So you still come away with a win, but it could still come with some pretty hefty fees.
Okay, so what other little party fouls should we be aware of?
So remember those disbursements that we were talking about? Things like court filing fees, expert witness reports, all of that.
All right.
That's usually on you to pay, regardless of whether you win or lose.
Really?
Yeah, it's like having to pay for the party snacks, even if you didn't get an invite.
Oh, man. Okay. So those sneaky hidden costs, they're everywhere. Anything else we should watch out for?
Yeah, so let's say your case it needs to go to court.
Okay.
The big leagues, right?
Mhm.
You might need a barrister.
A barrister.
Yeah, so think of a barrister kind of like a specialist lawyer
Okay.
that you bring in because they have all this expertise in court proceedings.
So they're like the super lawyer, like the MVP of the courtroom.
Exactly.
Okay.
But barristers' fees, they're often not included in your no-win, no-fee agreement with your solicitor.
It's like finding out the DJ at the party has a whole separate invoice. Man, okay. So reading the fine print is beyond essential, but this is, I mean, honestly, it's a little bit complicated. It seems risky. So is this no-win, no-fee thing ever actually worth it?
That's the million-dollar question. And the answer, as it is with most things in law, is it depends.
Okay.
One thing I thought the Foyle legal article really hit the nail on the head with was that for a lot of people, this is the only option.
Right.
It's the only way that they could even consider taking legal action.
That makes sense because not a lot of people have just wads of cash lying around paying legal fees up front.
Exactly, especially after an injury or, if they've lost their job.
Especially since the insurance companies aren't just like handing out, stacks of cash with every client.
Exactly.
Right.
So these agreements, they really can be about leveling the playing field and just giving people access to justice that they wouldn't otherwise be able to afford.
Right, because everyone deserves a fair shot, right?
Exactly. It's about empowering people
Yeah.
to exercise their rights.
Okay.
But like we've been talking about, there are potential drawbacks. So, making sure you go in with your eyes wide open.
Eyes wide open, contract scrutinized. What about the lawyers, though? Because this article mentioned that a lot of these firms that do this no-win, no-fee, they have a ton of cases. Does that mean that my case might not get the attention it deserves?
Yeah, I mean, it's a valid concern, but I think a helpful way to think about it is, if they have a high volume of cases, it probably means they have a lot of experience in this area of law.
Right. So they've seen it all, heard it all, hopefully won it all.
Exactly. So they've likely handled cases very similar to yours,
Right.
which can be really helpful when you're dealing with, all the complexities of a workers' comp claim.
Okay.
Plus, remember, their pay is directly tied to whether or not you're successful.
That's a good point, actually.
So no win, no fee, right?
Yeah.
It means they don't get paid unless you do.
Okay, so their motivation is aligned with mine. They want me to win just as much as I do.
Exactly.
So it's a mixed bag then, it seems like. There's some good things.
Yeah,
Potentially some not so good things to keep in mind.
for sure.
I guess the main takeaway is you got to know what you're getting into.
Yeah, knowledge is power, right?
Right.
Understanding these agreements, how they work, the benefits, the pitfalls, that's going to help you make an informed choice, and that's what really mattered.
Absolutely. Informed decisions. This deep dive, I feel like I learned a lot. You know those no-win, no-fee signs? I feel like I've been walking past them for years and never really, understood what they actually meant.
Yeah, it seems simple on the surface.
Right. But now I feel like we've gone deep down into the legal trenches or something.
Exactly.
And it's way more nuanced than it seems.
Absolutely. There are a lot of layers to peel back.
Yeah. And speaking of layers, something that kind of hit me as we were talking about this Foyle legal article, they were talking specifically about workers' comp, right? But I see those no-win, no-fee signs all over the place
Oh, yeah.
for all sorts of different cases. So are those agreements all the same? Or do they, are they different depending on what kind of case you're talking about?
It's a great question because, they're not all identical. Different areas of law have different rules, different regulations.
Yeah.
So, those agreements, they can vary quite a bit. For example, in family law cases, like a divorce,
Yeah.
it's actually less common to see a no-win, no-fee agreement for the whole case, but
Okay.
they might use them for specific parts, like if you're applying for a child custody order or something like that.
So the no-win, no-fee landscape changes depending on where you're, planting your legal flag.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay. It sounds like the same rules apply, though, no matter what, which is read the fine print.
Absolutely.
Ask a lot of questions.
Don't be afraid to, channel your inner legal eagle.
Exactly. So this has been a really, really helpful deep dive. And to all of our listeners, we hope this episode, this deep dive, has helped you see these no-win, no-fee agreements with, a new sense of clarity and understanding.
Definitely.
And remember, knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
So stay curious, keep asking questions, and we'll see you all next time for another deep dive.
Thank you for listening to Personal Injury Claims Explained by Foyle Legal. We hope this episode helped clarify your rights and next steps in your injury claim. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and visit foylelegal.com for more useful information. See you next time.